Hey everyone, this is Supraja,
This is Saujanya.
and we are not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong.
We are just two friends trying to understand and communicate our feelings a little better.
For a long time, expressing emotions wasn't easy for us, so this space is about learning, unlearning, and growing.
Because we may be living different lives, but we are all feeling something.
Welcome
Welcome
to
to
our
our
podcast.
podcast. Have you ever thought about a place in your past and remembered the version of you that lived through it?
Of course, like probably a country, city, like what do you mean? There are a lot of places.
It could be anything. Like there is always place in our life that we will hold a version of ourselves, right? What I mean by that is when I look back into that place, it's not just any location to me. It's more like my mind has associated lot of memories with that place.
Yeah, I mean, all of us will have those kind of places in our lives. I think for you, it could be your childhood home where you grew up and everything, you and your cousins. Just like that, I've had my own neighborhood when I was growing up as a kid. So I think I every year when I go to India, I visit that place just to remember how the place has not changed a bit. And I could see myself playing in the streets, doing all sorts of things that I used to do because it still feels like yesterday. That version of me, that kid in me is still alive, and I could see myself doing all the same things again. And I've lived, laughed, cried, fought, danced, sang, I've whatnot, I've done everything in that place. So that is one of, like, that is an apartment, that is a neighborhood that holds a lot of memory. Like almost 7 8 years of my life I've spent there. Like it was a good seven
Yeah.
years I guess. So childhood plays wherever all of us, where we have grown, like where we have grown, and we went to school every day. We have had like a lot of tantrums at home, fought with mom and dad. Our first marks where like we kind of got lower marks and got beaten up, everything happened in that place, right? So that would have like a lot of memories basically.
Yeah, I get it. Like I remember one thing, like when I had to move out of the house and live in a hostel for the very first time in my life, I used to complain a lot about not being able to be in the home, or I miss my family, or I miss that comfort of being in the home.
Yeah.
So every time I remember that place, all I can think is a sad version of me that went through that phase. But after a few years, when on a random day when I was thinking about it, I thought, why is it that I always think about the sad things that make me remember that place? Why don't I think about the happy things that happened over there?
What are the happy things that happened there?
Like I made a great friend, like who is till today one of my closest friends. And and I also think it that place taught me what independence feels like. When I say independence, don't think about some big things. No,
Of
it
course.
could be some lame small things, like you making sure that you have enough toothpaste in your home, you
Yeah, we
know.
never do that when we are at home with our moms.
Exactly, because your mom is going to take care of it, or your dad is going to take care of it, and you never have to worry about those things when you are living in the home in your
Yeah,
comfort zone. But when you're alone, when you're independent, you learn a lot of things. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn how to take care of yourself. So as years went by, I was thinking about it, and then I thought maybe there was a sad version obviously that was living through that phase, but there was also an independent version that was building in that phase. And
yeah.
I failed to recognize that when I was living through it, and I recognize it now. So it is not necessary that once you associate a memory, like a bad memory, with a place, that it is always going to be bad. Because when at a
Hmm.
later point, when you think about it in a deeper way, you might get new perspective, and life will put certain things into perspective for you.
Yeah, when you say that, I can totally relate it to my hostel days. It was very sad for me, like the saddest, like the black time of my life, because I was very carefree kid when I was in the city. I was growing up. I was in a very different kind of atmosphere, growing up with different friends, I got a lot of exposure until my 10th standard. But in 11th and 12th, when I had to go into the hostel for a different reason, in my head it was like I was excited to do that in the beginning, but
Yeah.
after going there everything was different. There was nobody to ask me if I have eaten
Yeah.
on time.
I
So
know.
things like that made me feel very sad,
Hmm.
and like there were a lot of work. I had to wash my own clothes, I had to prepare like wash my own vessels, which I had not done it before. There were people around me who used to. I think you would have done the same too when you were in the hostel.
I,
It's the same kind of experience, right?
exactly. Like when I moved for work, like when I had to live outside for work, at that time it was a little bit easier for me than it was being at the hostel, because that life had already made me adopted to, live through this one. So
Yeah.
it is not necessary that I only think about the bad things, right? Because it helped me to get where I am today also.
I think in my case it was an independence because I was still a kid back
Yeah.
then when I was in hostel. So maybe I agree to the part where you said you get to learn about
Yeah.
yourself, because I didn't know I didn't like a certain thing that people were doing until that phase came into my life, because I was a single child for most of my school days,
Yeah.
and I hadn't like grown up with another person. Like I haven't lived with another person who was more or less my same age. So when that happened, I started to understand what my comfortable things were, what things made me uncomfortable. So those are also the things that I started to learn about myself. I don't think I was independent even at that point, because I still got some good friends who made my life easier, who took up my job whenever that was my turn. They used to take up work for me so that I can study. Like I had a great bunch of friends that, as you said, even I'm friends with them today. But independence, I think I got it when I moved to Montreal. Like that was the real independence for me, if you ask me.
That's why I'm emphasizing the word independence. Like, it's not really like, I'm not talking about the big things. When I moved to the hostel for the first time, I didn't know that I had to take care of very, very small things that I
Hmm.
never noticed in my entire life. And I never had to notice in my entire life because my parents were taking care of it. So, that is the kind of independence I'm talking about. Like, I agree with you. When we came here, we felt the real independence, like
Yeah.
completely taking all the decisions of our life. We felt that kind of independence. But moving there, I understood what is that small independence felt like.
Yeah, that's what. So even when I was in hostel, I didn't have to notice about my toothbrush because my parents lived like 2 hours, I think 1.5 hours away. They always come every weekend. They are going to like pamper me with a lot of snacks and food and toothpaste, for example. So that happened a lot. I just noticed it was over. I refill them. I didn't think of it as something I should do it, and I wasn't amused by the fact
Yeah.
because there was always stuff with me. I didn't I really didn't think like, oh, okay, it's empty, I can use my friends. That's how I was. I
Yeah.
was not very aware of my surroundings. Like, okay, this is empty, I have to refill. All I cared about was I had to study, I had to wash my uniform, I had to wash my
Yeah.
plates. That was the like the worst part for me.
Yeah.
Where is my mobile? I used to have mobile from my 8th standard to 10th standard. These are the things. So I think we both had like a hostel experience, but since it was in a different phase, we kind of had different versions
Yeah.
in those
But
hostel.
at the end of the day, the point is we have lot of memories
Yeah.
associated with that place, and we see a version of ourselves that lived through all of it. Maybe we have outgrown that version. I don't
Yeah,
know, but
I don't relate to that version
I,
anymore. But that's true. There is a version, there was a sad version, a hardworking version. I mean, we didn't have anything to do better in the hostel. So
yeah,
all we had to do was study on time. Whatever test we had to study. We had exams, we assignments, we would do it because there was no distraction for us. We can't go out. We were just on like there was four walls,
yeah.
right? So that was the version I think I can never go back to. I can't be that hardworking student
I
anymore.
know. I know when even today when we look back at some places, they bring out something in us, and that something could be happier, something that could be sadder, or something that could be so distant that you don't even recognize that version of yourself. That's what you were talking about too.
I think it's true what you were saying, that we almost forget some versions of ourselves unless we go to that place.
Yeah.
So instantly, I all I could remember was in 2021 I went to our academic block in
You
our
did?
college to get a couple of signatures. I had
Okay.
to go. I think we hadn't been to academic block after I think after 2016, which was a first
Yeah,
year,
yeah,
right? So we had always been either in the main block
yeah,
or the workshop block. We never got a chance to actually go visit academic block, but that
yeah.
was the first time. It was 2 years after we graduated, but many years since we had been to the academic block, almost like five
Yeah.
5 years, right? So when I went there, suddenly a lot of emotions started rushing. I don't know if it was happy, if it was sad. It felt very mixed to me.
Mm.
I'm not able to put a finger on those emotions
Yeah.
because all I could sit and think about was the version during my first year. It was a very naive, very maybe innocent, maybe stupid. It
Mm.
was a mix of all those emotions, and I had completely forgotten that this person even existed in my life. Like when I sit and think about my past and all, I remember my childhood, I remember my school, high school, maybe when I was working
Yeah.
and all of that. Or if college, I never thought about the first year.
Yeah.
It was always the second, third, or even the final year. But the first year version was very different compared to the subsequent years. And when I was sitting there, that's when I realized this version existed. And I think it was not worth to remember that version. That's why I had forgotten about it.
Maybe. Like, I agree with you. Like, I don't think so. I'll be able to relate to that first year version of myself too, because I was innocent. I was stupid a lot of times. And that's the phase where I had to live in the hostel as well for
Yeah.
the very first time. So I think it was all too much for me at the same time, leaving
Hmm.
home, living in a new place, and then handling all this. So I don't know if I'll ever be able to recognize that person.
Really? Maybe we should ask about this to all our other friends, what they think about their past versions.
Yeah, it would be nice to know what they think as well. And as we were talking, sometimes we can say that the home we live in also hold a lot of memories of us.
Hmm.
Do you remember the place I used to live before coming
Yeah.
here? So that place and I, we have a very deep emotional connection.
Hmm.
What I mean by that is that walls know my story, and that face of me has been through sadness, happiness. I've been ignorant, I've been innocent, so I've been through that all. So leaving that place was very hard for me because I was scared that I will leave a part of me behind. But I
Yeah.
guess it's at the end of the day it's okay. Like, I like the new place too. So
Yeah, I think I would agree to that, that homes that we live in hold a part of us, hold a version of us,
yeah.
because when I first moved to Montreal, I lived in a house that is very close to me. I was so attached to that place.
Mm.
There is this corner in that house where it feels like I belong in that corner. I belong in that house. It's so personal to me, and I love to sit there and watch out of the window, the sunset. I mean, that version in me that was in Montreal when I newly moved to Montreal, that was the first time I started looking at the clouds. Like,
Yeah.
we all our life we have seen clouds, we have seen
Yeah.
sunrise and sunset, but that was the first time I sat and I spent a good amount of time looking into it, and that was the first time that version started growing in me, because I realized I also like these things. Like,
Yeah.
these things could also make my life, like my day, very beautiful. And the like, it doesn't have to be the whole house also. It has to be that one place in that house, the walls around you, that can hold like a couple of memories for yourself, right?
This is what I meant when I said, like, there are certain places that will teach you something. Like, maybe that version of you taught you that you like watching clouds and sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. And then maybe I manifested it because the next house I moved in had this beautiful sunset view, because I was paying rent I was not going to like oratory to view the
Yeah, I
sunset. It
know.
was just at my home. I just sit and relax, and I do that every day. So I realized that is some activity I genuinely enjoy doing it. And there are places where you leave those things, like you just leave that version in you right there, right? So I think after I moved out of that house, like the second house, I never got a chance to look into clouds or beautiful sunset because the house was situated in a certain way.
Yeah,
So after that, I still love sunsets, by the
yeah,
way. I still love sunrises, the shades and everything,
yeah.
but not how I was obsessed like before, because that was right there in front of me
Yeah,
every day. But I think that version of me is a little bit dead with those houses.
yeah. I think attachment to a place is like very real.
Very real
and
thing.
and when you said the corner of the house, think about all the funny times where, when you sit in a, like, we used to sit in a third bench or something in our classroom, right? Every year as we moved forward, we always go and find that third bench. Like, it's not something big, it's very lame thing actually to do,
Yeah.
but it's so real that you want the same place everywhere you go, you are attached to that place. It's not even about that one place. It's like in your mind you have fixed that, okay, I need that third bench, so I have to go and find that third bench
Maybe
every
it's
time.
just a familiar feeling, I guess. Because fun fact, in even in school, I think since sixth standard, I've always sat on the middle row, third bench. So I think it's just the feeling of familiarity. It guides us through all walks of life. Like we
It's
always find familiar faces, familiar places, familiar feeling. It's our nature to chase those things, familiar things, right? So I think that bench was also part of that familiar feeling that I was chasing subconsciously, I think.
Yeah, you were right. Sometimes it's not even about the place you live or the college you go to. It could be a cafe you visited once or twice, or a place in your neighborhood that you visit often. These places will also hold a version of you.
Yeah, I think I can remember this place. So this was opposite to the Concordia's library building. It was a
Mhm.
salad place, a cheap salad place. I used to go there, like maybe I went there thrice, I think. And so I bought a salad, a
Mm.
bowl of salad, and I sat looking at the streets, like
Yeah.
in that place. So initially it was very awkward for me because that was the first time I was facing the streets like that inside a
Mm.
cafe. And but eventually I think I started noticing how people are walking, what they are doing, what they are wearing, and all of those, what animals are carrying with them, how the clouds look, how the birds. So I started noticing outside the streets from inside.
Mm.
And I've never done that before. And I realized that I enjoy that is another activity that I enjoyed. And at that time, I was like a struggling student at Concordia. I
Mm.
was very stressed out most of the times, and
Mm.
I never had slow moments when I was at the university. So when I stepped out and came into the salad place, and I was sitting there and watching other people whatever that they are doing, and watching the life outside of that, whatever that I was living,
It
I
was
think
comforting,
it
maybe.
was comforting. And I think I still remember that version in me because that was always stressed,
Yeah.
always thinking about the results, the paper, and everything. So that slow moment, I think I've outgrown that version. I'm not that person anymore. But if you, when you were mentioning that, I think of that place, and I remember that that version also existed in a place. Like if I go to that place, I will again go and sit in that corner and view all the people, all the streets, and everything again.
Sometimes you don't even have to go to that place to remember that version. So you can
Yeah.
just sit in your sofa and think about it, and then you'll remember that version of you who was there.
Yeah, I also think maybe you will remember the place, and then you will realize that, as I said, you will realize that you've outgrown the version completely. Maybe not despise the version, but you've just gradually outgrown the version.
The opposite is true too. Sometimes you will outgrow a place, but you will still feel connected to who you were back then.
Maybe. So maybe I think we all should sit and think about the places and the versions of yourself, that who you were in those places. Did you build yourself in that place, or did you outgrow that version of yourself in that place?
Let us know in the comments.